Good afternoon, students. So this is week 1 of spring 2023. And so in this video, I'm going to go over your week 1 quiz and your week 2 forum. So let's get started. So let's go over the week 1 quiz, and I will start from the very beginning. So, in week 1 instructor session. So here I'm going to go over the parts of speech. I'm going to go over what is a subject and verb in a sentence. I'm going to go over verb tenses, subject-verb agreement, week 1 quiz, week 2 forum, and the essay 1. So here are the grammar concepts. So there are three kinds of nouns. Common noun is a person, place, or thing. Book, river, table. Plural noun is more than one person, place, or thing. Books, rivers, tables. A proper noun is when you have names and titles, names of people, places, and things, usually capitalized. King James, Uncle Steve, Aunt Janet, Ronald Reagan. So which one is a noun? River, because river is a thing. Therefore, it is a common noun. Janet earned first place in the poetry contest. What type of noun is the underlined word? So Janet is a proper noun because a proper noun is the name of a person. My aunt makes the best chocolate cake. What type of noun is the underlined word? This is a common noun because it is a person. Aunt is a person, hence a noun. Pronoun. Pronoun replaces a noun. A pronoun must agree with the noun it replaces. Antecedent. Subject pronoun, he, she, I, they, we, you, come before the noun, come before the verb. Object pronoun, him, her, us, you, them, come after the verb. A pronoun agrees with its antecedent, the noun it replaces. Janet is fun, she loves movies. So you can't say Janet is fun, he loves movies. Children are innocent, they are cute. And so you cannot say the he or she is cute, you have to say they are cute to go back to children as the antecedent. Here, child is the antecedent, and you need a matching pronoun, he or she. So therefore, the pronoun he or she has to match with child. What is the correct pronoun to use for the antecedent children? The children played with their toys all day. So their shows possession. Therefore, it's plural because it's more than one child. Subject and verb. The subject of the sentence comes before the verb. The dog is the subject, chased is the verb, the cat is the object, around the yard is the preposition. So here, the subject does the action, the verb is the action, the object receives the action, and the preposition shows where something is. The subject of a sentence tells who or what the sentence is, or about who or what is doing the action. True, because the subject is always what is doing the action. Singular subject, dog. The dog chased after the cat. Plural subject, dogs. Many dogs chased after the cat. More than one dog. Which one demonstrates a plural subject? Coats, coats, or coats. So it's A because you don't have the apostrophe S. Regular and irregular verbs. Verb tenses show time, past, present, and the future. The simple past tense is formed when the verb ends in ed, walked, talked. Irregular verbs are when you form the verbs in the past, but it's irregular and it's teached, taught, spoke, speak. The past participle is used when helping verb have, has, had. I had parked my car in the parking lot. Present perfect tense. I have lived in LA for many years. Present perfect, something that happened a little bit in the past, still happening in the future. Present participle, progressive. I am teaching this lesson, means it's happening right now. You are learning grammar. That's something you're doing right now. I listened to the lesson. I mean, simple present tense is something that happens every day. present progressive tense, something that's happening in real time. Verb tenses show active or passive voice. So when you have passive voice, you have a be verb plus the past tense. The students are being lectured by the teacher. That is passive voice because you have the be verb plus the past tense. The teacher lectures the students. So here you have the subject is doing the action of lecturing to the students. Therefore, it's active voice. In passive voice, the subject is receiving the action, and therefore when the subject is receiving the action of being lectured, the students are being lectured by the teacher. So when the subject is receiving the action, therefore that is a passive voice. So verb tenses can show active or passive voice, and passive voice is be verb plus the past participle. So being lectured. So here are more examples of passive voice. The bird was run over by the car. So here you have a be verb plus a past participle. And then here you have the child is being run over by the car. So here you have a be verb plus the past participle. And then the child is receiving the action of being run over by the car. And then an active voice is where you have the subject doing the action. So the subject is doing the action of running over the bird. Here, the subject is receiving the action of being run over. So verb tenses can refer to time. Yesterday I went to the store. Today I stay home. Tomorrow I go to work. Which one is not true about verb tense? Verb tenses refer to a verb being active or passive. Tense refers to how stressed the verb is in a sentence. So the answer is B, because verb tenses have nothing to do with English pronunciation. Which one represents an active verb tense? The child kicked the ball into the street. So active verb tense is when the subject does the action. So A is the correct answer. Which sentence represents passive voice tense? The car was steered to the side of the road. So here you have a be verb plus the past participle. And you have a subject receiving the action. Therefore, A is the correct answer. It is passive voice. Subject-verb agreement. A verb must agree with the subject in number. A singular subject takes a singular verb. A plural subject takes a plural verb. Jane is. So that's singular subject. Jane takes singular subject verb is. Jane and Mike, plural subject. Jane and Mike take plural verb are. So which of the following is true about subject-verb agreement? So if the subject is plural, the verb needs to be plural. So a gerund is when you have a ing, verb-like ing word that looks like that is used as a noun. So every time you have a gerund ing word used as a noun or an object, then we have singular is verb. So a gerund subject is always takes a singular verb. Eating at a restaurant is an easy thing to do. So when you have prepositional phrase, verb plus subject, the subject is at the end of the sentence. Over the hill sits a red house. And so house is the singular subject that takes the singular verb sits. A red house sits over the hill means the same thing. Overhead, at the scene of the accident, was or were several traffic helicopters. And so several traffic helicopters is a plural subject which takes the plural verb were, and it has the same meaning as several traffic helicopters were hovering overhead at the scene of the accident. So 4 chairs were in the room. And so here you have plural subject, 4 chairs, were, plural verb. So plural subject takes a plural verb. So which sentence is correct? You was, you are, or you is? And so here you have the correct I am, he is, they are, you are. So that's the correct, that's the correct pronunciation. So it's the correct answer is B, you are. Because I am, he is, she is, you are, we are, they are. So therefore the correct answer is B, you are. Compound subjects always take a plural verb. So compound subjects means two subjects, Samantha and Jacob. So it's two people. So the answer is ride the train, because a plural subject takes a plural verb, ride. So the answer is A. Which statement is incorrect? This coat and scarf looks very warm, but the wind seems to go right through them. So this sentence has a subject-verb agreement error, because coat and scarf is a plural subject, so it takes the plural verb. So therefore a plural subject takes a plural verb, and so this one is subject-verb agreement mistake. Indefinite pronouns always take a singular verb. So everybody is, nobody is, someone is, something is, cleaning, eating, is. Okay, so every time you have an indefinite pronoun, it always takes a singular verb. When you have a correlative pronoun, either or, neither nor, it takes a singular verb. So either John nor his brothers is, are. So when you have either or his brothers, then you have brothers, it becomes are. His brothers or John, then it becomes is. So when you have two subjects, then you go by the second subject for the verb to agree with. And so Jane or Chantel is at the party. So when you have or, you always use singular. When you have and, you always have plural. So Jane or Chantel is at the party. Jane and Chantel are at the party. And so here you have either Alex or Hannah. So because you have or, then you have to make it singular. And so the correct answer is leads, because he leads, she leads. So we make it singular because of or. Every time you have or, it becomes singular. When it becomes and, it becomes plural. Consistent verb tense. Oh, before I do consistent, so Hannah or Steve is. Hannah and Steve are. A plum or an orange is a good snack. Plums and oranges are a good snack. So consistent verb tense. Do not write verb tenses unnecessarily. If you begin your paper writing in the present tense, do not shift suddenly to the past tense. If you begin in the past tense, do not shift without reason to the present. So if your verbs are in the present tense, then all other verbs in that sentence should be in the present tense. If all your verbs in that sentence is in the present tense, then all your other verbs should be in the present tense. Incorrect. The gardener breaks up the hard earth, added peat, then blends the soil. That's incorrect because you need breaks, adds, blends. Here you have present tense, present tense, present tense. And so that's correct. This is known as consistent verb tense because you use the same tense in verbs for the entire sentence. Dot searched for the $20 bill she had hid somewhere in her purse. So here, this is not consistent verb tense because here you have simple past and then suddenly you have past perfect. So if I were to get rid of had, then I have simple past and simple past, and that makes it consistent verb tense. So since it's wrong, it's got had, hid, then that means that is wrong tense. So Dot searched for the $20 bill she had hid in her purse. So correct is Dot searched for the $20 bill she hid somewhere in her purse. So practice quiz 1. The dog chased the cat around the yard. What is the subject of the sentence? C. The dog chased. So always the noun that occurs before the verb is always the subject of the sentence. So the answer is C. Which verb is needed for the following sentence? Either Alex or Hannah blank the chorus. Now because you have or, then you have to have singular verb. So either Alex or Hannah leads. So A is the correct answer because when you have or, it takes a singular verb. Which one is not true about verb tense? B, because verb tenses have nothing to do with English pronunciation. Dot searched for the $20 bill she had hid somewhere in her purse. Which statement notes the incorrect item in this sentence? And the answer is the answer is consistent verb tense. So the answer for 4 is C, consistent verb tense, because the two verbs have to be simple past and simple past. Which of the following is true about subject-verb agreement? If a subject is plural, then the verb needs to be plural. So the answer is A. Janet earned first place in the poetry competition. What type of noun is the underlined word? This is a proper noun because it is a name. Which statement notes the incorrect item in this sentence? So this coat and scarf looks very warm. So the correct answer should be this. Since coat and scarf is a plural subject or compound subject, it should take a plural verb. This is a singular verb. So therefore the mistake is subject-verb agreement. Here you have, my aunt makes the best chocolate cake. What type of noun is the underlined word? So here, the underlined word aunt, okay, is a proper noun. It is a common noun because it doesn't have a name. So my aunt makes the best chocolate cake is a common noun. Which one represents active verb tense? The child kicked the ball into the street. The ball was kicked into the street. So here, the child kicked the ball into the street. That is active verb tense because you have subject. The subject is doing the action of kicking the ball into the street. Therefore, it is active verb tense. A. Which sentence represents passive verb tense? Here you have a be verb plus a past participle. So therefore, A is the correct answer. The car was steered to the side of the road because you have the be verb, and every time you have a be verb plus a past participle, you have passive voice. And also when the subject is receiving the action, then it is a passive voice. So A is the correct answer. Which verb is needed for the following sentence? A plum or an orange. So every time you have or, you have to have, it's always a singular verb is. So a plum or an orange is a good snack. For the compound subject, which verb is needed? Samantha and Jacob. So Samantha and Jacob is a compound sentence. So therefore Samantha and Jacob ride the A train to work every day. Which one demonstrates a plural subject? The coats were packed away for summer. So here, when we want to make a noun plural, we simply add an S. So therefore A is the correct answer. Which one is a noun? Ran, river, or lumpy? And so here, river is the correct answer because river is a thing. Remember that a noun is a person, place, or thing. What is the correct pronoun to use for the antecedent children? The children played with their toys all day because you have many children and therefore it's their, showing possession. You was, you are, or you is on your way home. So the correct answer is you are on your way home. Which sentence shows active voice? B, the movie starts today. The subject of a sentence, because the movie is doing the action of starting. So therefore, the movie is an active voice. 18. The subject of a sentence tells who or what the sentence is about, or who or what is doing the action. So the answer to that is true. Always the subject, especially in active voice, the subject of a sentence does the action. Hovering overhead at the scene of the accident was several helicopters. So several helicopters is a plural subject. And so a plural subject needs a plural verb. So here the mistake is subject-verb agreement, because a plural subject takes a plural verb, and here you have a mistake that says singular verb, was, when the correct answer is were. So therefore, for number 19, the correct answer is subject-verb agreement. Now, if you can get 100% on your practice quiz, then you are ready to take your real week 1 quiz. So do not take your week 1 quiz until you can pass 100%, and these are all the correct answers of your practice week 1 quiz. So you're going to have a quiz week 1, week 3, week 5, and week 7. And in each of my lecture notes, I will give you this practice quiz. And if you can pass the practice quiz with 100%, you'll get 100% on your real quiz. You can access your real quiz by tapping on modules, and then you scroll down and you will see week 1 quiz. It's usually at the very end of a weekly module. So in this case, week 1. Week 2 discussion. In the week 2 discussion, this week, you are going to begin practicing your pre-writing technique for your assignment. Consider the amount of time you will spend over the next several weeks of this class writing your essay. If you are prone to procrastinate, how will you overcome this obstacle in order to produce your best writing? Address the following questions as you write your initial post. How will you schedule your writing sessions in order to stay organized and follow the writing process? If you are not a procrastinator, what are some things you do in order to produce your best writing? Share your ideas and your plan to help you produce your best writing throughout the course. Response posts. In addition to your original post, be sure to provide a meaningful response to at least two of your peers by the end of the week. If your response to your peers, you might offer what similarities you have in management, in time management, or whether a specific style worked for you. So Sunday, and so you have two deadlines. Your first post is due on Wednesday, and that's when you post how you manage your time. And then your second post is due on Sunday. Your second 2 posts due on Sunday when you post to 2 students. I seem to have somebody in the chat, so I will. Oh, hey Tia, I didn't know that there was anybody here since I'm doing a second recording. The first one didn't take. So basically in the week 2 forum, you're just going to write about how do you do your writing? How do you find time for writing? So a sample post would be, when I do my writing, I sit down, I make sure all my kids are asleep. Then I sit down and I turn on the music, and that's when I do my best writing. Okay, that's somebody's post. Another person, when I do my writing, I like to do all of my writing, unlike the previous post, I like to do my writing in the morning before everybody wakes up, and then I sit in a quiet room, and then I concentrate on my writing. What about the writing process? Then I do my pre-writing, I write my outline for my paper, then I write after I write my outline, I organize my ideas by doing a mind map. And I put this main idea in the central circle, and then I put the reasons in the outer circles. So that's how I write my paper. So that's sample post number 2. Sample post number 3, I like to write when I'm in the shower. I get my best ideas when I'm in the shower, because when I'm in the bathroom, that's the only time I'm away from my kids, I'm away from my husband, that's the only time I have privacy, and so that's when I do my best writing, and my best idea generation is in the shower or on the john. Okay, so this one student seems to be so busy that the only time she's not occupied with her family is when she's taking a shower. Well, that was a third student who wrote that's the best time for her to write. And for me, personally, I like to work in the morning, right after I get up and I'm fresh. And so for me, I like to get up in the morning, turn on the music, and then I sit down and I concentrate and I write. and then by the afternoon I finish my writing. So basically, and then also for week 2 forum, share your time management tips. How do you save time? So somebody wrote, I save time by having my children do some of the house chores. I save time, and I also make sure they do the chores correctly, or else they don't get any money for what they want to do. So they don't get any of their allowance unless they do their house chores. Or I let my husband do some of the house chores so that I have time to do my writing. So that is how I save time. So that is sample post, student post number 4. So you get the idea that basically in the week 2 forum, you talk about how you find time to do writing. When is the best time of the day for you to do your writing? And what is your process, your thinking process, as you go about creating a paper? What is your writing process? For the writing process has 3 stages. It's got the pre-writing, in which you come up with a topic and an outline. Then you've got the writing stage, where you write the rough draft of your essay. You turn your outline into a 5-paragraph essay structure. And then number 3, you have your, after you have that, then you have your rewriting, where you rewrite your essay based on the template that I give you. So that pretty much is your writing process. So you would say that my writing process is, I sit down in a quiet room before my family gets up, and I think about pre-writing. I look at a book, or I listen to music, and I can come up with a topic that inspires me. Then writing, I visualize the paper in my head. And then rewriting, I look at my teacher's suggestions and write down whatever corrections I have to make from the peer review. So that's also week 2 form. That's somebody else's sample post. So there are many ways in which you can answer. Basically, in a week 2 forum, talk about how you find the time to do your schoolwork, how you find the time to, when is the best time for you to do your work, and how you have your time management. And I think that, and you can also write down how much time per week you spend doing work. So I had a student write, I spend 14 hours a week on classwork. Every day I put aside 2 hours in which for me, that's when I concentrate and do my work. That's how I schedule time, work time, school time into my busy schedule. So that is a good post also. Another student wrote, I do my homework when my children do their homework. So that way I model to my children that doing homework is serious work, is to be taken seriously, and that you always do your homework before you watch television. So that was what another student wrote, was the best time for her to do her homework was when her kids do their homework in the afternoon. So basically write down what is the best time for you to do your work and how you make time to do your writing and your schoolwork. So that is week 2 forum, is how you make time for school. So that was a long roundabout, how do you schedule your writing sessions, how you not procrastinate, how you plan ahead. So here are some effective time management tips. Set writing goals. So time management is crucial for writers to find time to write amidst their busy schedules. Here are some tips for effective time management. Establish specific and achievable writing goals, such as word count, pages, or chapters, and set deadlines for yourself. Having clear goals and deadlines can help you stay focused and motivated. Create a writing routine. Establish a consistent writing routine that fits your schedule and preferences, whether it's early mornings, late nights, or weekends. Carving out dedicated time for writing on a regular basis can help you make writing a habit. Prioritize writing. Make writing a priority in your schedule. Identify other tasks or activities that may be less important and consider cutting back or eliminating them to create more time for writing. Break writing into smaller chunks. Writing can be overwhelming, so break it into manageable chunks. That's what the writing process is for, is breaking the paper into manageable chunks in which you do pre-writing, you come up with your topic, then you do your writing, where you write your 5 paragraphs, then you rewrite, and you do all of this in different sittings. You don't do it all at once. So one day you might do the pre-writing, then the next day you do the writing, and then the day after that you do the rewriting. So we don't do all of our writing all in one sitting. Avoid multitasking. So avoid doing other things at the same time. So in other words, you tell your children to you tell your children during these 2 hours I have to work, and so do not put a do not disturb sign on your office. So that way you can have a quiet space to yourself just to write, and then and minimize distractions, and therefore put aside a certain amount of time each day in order to do only your homework. Plan ahead. Don't procrastinate and wait until the very last minute, Sunday, to suddenly do all of your assignments. Okay, so plan ahead so that you have time to ask me questions, or you can reach out and we can go over your paper during a Zoom session. Okay, be flexible. Be flexible and open to adjusting your writing schedule as needed. Life can be unpredictable. This is the reason why you don't want to wait until the last minute. You want to be flexible, and therefore in order to be flexible, you got to plan ahead. So right now we're in the week 1, and so basically you should already be looking at week 2 and reading week 2 stuff, even though we're still in week 1. So always stay 1 week ahead. So that way you always stay ahead of the game and you don't fall behind. Once you fall behind, it's so hard to keep up, to catch up. Delegate and ask for help. Number 9, delegate and ask for help. If possible, ask your children or your husband to help you with household chores. And delegate non-writing tasks or ask for help from family, friends, or colleagues to free up more time for writing. And last but not least, take care of yourself. Taking care of yourself, including getting enough sleep and eating well and managing stress, can help you maintain focus and energy for writing. Remember, finding time to write requires intentional planning and commitment. Experiment with different time management strategies to see what works best for you and your writing process, and be willing to adapt and adjust as needed. And then for your that's it. That's it for week 2 forum. Now all of that was for week 2 forum. Now I'm going to get to the week 2 assignment. So for your essay, you're going to be writing a narrative essay. In other words, a narrative essay means that you're going to write about a story, something from your life. And so you're going to write about, I became a nurse because, I became a dental assistant because, I became a teacher because, so whatever it is, write about an event that changed your life, okay? And so there are 3 stages to the writing process. So this week, we're going to do the first stage of the writing process. We're going to do pre-writing. What is pre-writing? Pre-writing, also known as pre-planning or pre-drafting, is the stage of the writing process that comes before the actual writing of a piece of text. It involves the initial planning, brainstorming, and organizing of ideas and information before beginning to write a draft. Pre-writing is an important step in the writing process as it helps writers generate ideas, clarify their purpose, and organize their thoughts, which can lead to a more coherent and effective final piece of writing. And so here are some pre-writing activities. Brainstorming. In other words, generate free ideas by just sitting down and just write whatever comes to your head. Don't think about the grammar. Just sit down for 10 minutes and write about, I became a nurse because, and then write out for 5 minutes straight. Don't worry about anything. So that's known as free writing. Or listing, in which you would list all the different reasons why you became a nurse or why you became a teacher. Just write it down without whatever comes to your head. Then clustering means that and then later, after you write everything down, start organizing your ideas into an outline. And so the most important idea becomes your main idea. The main idea would be, I became a nurse because reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. So that's going to be your thesis statement. So for the thesis statement is the main idea of your essay. Then your reasons, the 3 reasons, will become your 3 body paragraphs. And so that will become your outline. Okay, so in the pre-writing stage, all we're going to do is we're going to fill out a worksheet that's going to be the outline of your paper. And then in the next step, we will transform this outline into a 5-paragraph essay. So that's not what we're doing this week. So all we're going to do this week is the outline. And so this assignment is due week 2, Sunday. Not this Sunday, but the Sunday at the end of week 2. So here is the what your worksheet is going to look like. So your worksheet is going to say, complete the reading assignment and the interactive lecture before attempting this assignment. Refer to the following strategies discussed in your ebook and choose one of the following: free writing, mapping, clustering, brainstorming, questioning. And then use this worksheet to then answer the questions in the worksheet. And then when you send your paper in, you upload it like this, okay? And then you submit it under the week 2 assignment portal. And so here is going to be your worksheet. So the topic I chose is, so it's going to say the topic. And so the topic I chose, the reasons why I became a nurse. So that's the topic. My working thesis. So a thesis always has a topic, an opinion, and 3 reasons. For your thesis statement is the main idea of your paper. And the thesis statement summarizes your entire content of your body paragraphs. And the thesis statement is going to be the last sentence of your first paragraph. And so I became a nurse because I want to help people, I want to be a role model for my family, and I want a job with benefits. So let's say those are your 3 reasons. So therefore, I want to help people becomes paragraph 2. I want to be a role model for my family becomes paragraph 3. And I want a job with benefits becomes paragraph 4. And then in each of these paragraphs, you would say, I want to become a nurse because I want to help people. Then you're going to write 5 to 7 sentences about your life story. You would say something like, when my grandfather was sick, I helped to take care of my grandfather. And when my grandfather was in the hospital, all the other nurses told me that I would make such a great nurse because I showed such compassion in taking care of my grandfather. And so I realized by taking care of my grandfather how much I love to help people. So that's paragraph 2. I want to be a role model for my family. In my family, I'm the first person in my family to go to college. Nobody else was able to go to college. My mother didn't finish college, in my case, because she gave birth to me, you see. I couldn't wait to come out into this world. And so my mother only got as far as her freshman year, I think, in college, and then she dropped out. And so I want to become a nurse. In my case, I wanted to be a teacher, to be a role model for my family, because nobody else in my family had ever come this far. So I want to be a role model for my family. So that's paragraph 3. Paragraph 4, if I become a teacher or a nurse, I can get a job that has benefits. And I really need the benefits because I have a husband right now, and he's not working, and he needs the benefits, and my children need the benefits. So becoming a nurse or a teacher, whatever it is you're going to do, I can get respect and I can get benefits, and that's why I want to become, a nurse or a teacher. So these 3 become your body paragraphs in the next. And then you just answer these questions. Why did you choose this subject? I want to show people, in my case, I chose the subject because I want to show people how much I love teaching and how much I love reaching out to my students and teaching them new skills and bonding with my students. How do you connect to the topic you chose? Ever since I was little, I love talking, or I love sharing what I know with others. And when I was in college, I used to help correct the papers of my roommates. My roommate was from China, and actually she was from Hong Kong, but she didn't know her English was really bad. And so she would help me with my math, because my math is terrible, and I would help her with her paper. And pretty soon, the whole dorm was asking me to correct their papers. And then I figured out, wow, it's fun correcting everyone's papers. And so that's when I decided I was going to major in English and become an English teacher. That's my story. So you're going to write you're going to write your story of why you became, or how you connect to what do you want to learn about the topic you chose. Well, actually, I want my students to learn how to write proper essays. So you would write, I want to learn how to write a proper narrative essay so that I can become an effective communicator. And I want people to know how much of a struggle it takes to be a nurse or to be a teacher, because in this country, they don't, at least for teachers anyway, in this country, they don't show respect for teachers. Everybody always thinks that teachers are just babysitters for kids, and they're not. They're professionals like everybody else. So that's what I want my audience to take away from this paper, and that's why I chose this subject. Pretty much I answered C and D together. And then for step 3, you can write a paragraph. So you could do several things. You're going to do a pre-writing exercise. You can do free writing, in which you write one paragraph in which you just write about whatever comes to your head. So now I'm going to talk without thinking about grammar. I'm going to do the free writing one. So let's see. I became a teacher when I first when I went to college. I had no idea what I wanted to be, and for 2 years I just drifted from class to class. And then I got a Chinese roommate, and she didn't know the first thing about writing. And she took English, and then her English teacher gave her an F, and there were all of these mistakes everywhere. And she was so frustrated because she had worked hours on her paper. With me, I just took 10 minutes, type it out, and I just took it for granted. Because to me, writing a paper is just so easy. And English is so easy for me. And so we decided to swap. I found math to be so frustrating and hard. She found math to be so easy. So in the beginning, we ended up doing each other's homework, is actually what we did. And we swapped. And she helped me with my math. I helped her with her English. And it turned out that I really loved correcting, not just her paper, but the entire international student dorm. Once word got around that I was really good at correcting people's papers, and they all got A's, then everybody wanted me to correct it became like, not just foreign students, but American students, everybody, like stood in a line or something, and I would correct. It was fun, actually. And it was for the first time in my life, I was wanted for something, instead of being, just a kid, because I was so young. I wasn't even used to being treated as an adult, I was still used to being treated as a little kid. To have all of these people, actually appreciate a talent that I had, that was the first time I was appreciated for, and so that's why it made me decide to major in English. To make a long story short. So anyway, that's why I became a teacher. So this is a free write. I just did a free write. There's no organization. All my ideas are all over the place. That's all you have to do for step 3, is just write a free write, in which that's what I just did, okay? And that's it for this assignment, grading. So if you get 10 points for choosing an appropriate topic, you get 10 points for having a working thesis. Make sure your thesis is one sentence, not a question. So you gotta have topic, you have to have opinion, and 3 reasons. That's a working thesis. A working thesis means you can tweak it later on, okay? Explain the moral or main point clearly. That means do you have a good thesis statement, and do you have good 3 reasons? Provide 3 supporting points. That's the 3 reasons, so that's 10 points. And then answer each question in detail, that's 20 points. And then the pre-writing, which you just spout off whatever comes to your mind about your topic, and you write it in a paragraph, free writing, that's worth 25 points, and then all your grammar and everything is worth 15 points. And that's it for this, particular lecture. Do you have any questions? Are there any questions for this lecture? So since I'm the only one here, I guess I don't have any questions about my lecture, and so I will end this lecture. And this is the week 1. And so for week 1, all you have to do is you have to do your week 1 forum, week 1 quiz, and that's it. Make sure that you watch this Zoom video before you take your week 1 quiz. Also on the home page, I have provided other week 1 quiz videos and that you can look at. Okay, so that's also on your home page. And so all you have to do for this week, week 1, is week 1 quiz and week 1 forum, which is due this Sunday at midnight Pacific. Next week, week 2, you're going to do your week 2 forum, and then you're going to do your week 2 writing assignment outline for your narrative essay. So that about covers the extent of this week 1 lecture. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me anytime.